All right, Donald Trump running out of options and apparently running out of time. He's exhausted all efforts right now to delay that hush money trial slated to begin next week with jury selection in New York on Monday. The significance of all of this with Katie Cherkasky, she really helps me just follow all of these trials and where they stand. But this is the one that's ready for launch. How do you think it's going to go, Katie?
Well, it looks like it is going to go forward, absent Trump firing his entire defense team on the morning of trial. Still not off the table, something that defendants can and have done in other cases. But he does have, in my opinion, a very strong defense going into the New York case. So perhaps he's looking for a win ahead of the election, and certainly that would give him some momentum.
All right, now, he can do that. He can fire his entire defense team, but that means you need a whole new crop of lawyers, so you can't just sneak them back under different names or aliases. How does that work?
Well, there are certain circumstances where a criminal defendant does not wish to continue with their current team, and so they let the court know that they've lost confidence in their team or if they wish to have different counsel. And the Supreme Court has been very clear that in criminal cases, a defendant is entitled to remove their team and replace their team entirely if they wish to do so before proceeding to trial. In this case, the judge has made some passing remarks about one of Trump's attorneys not being prepared in some ways. He may be able to use that as a justification. This is only, again, if he wanted to do so. But if he wants to move forward, then certainly I think that they obviously are prepared to go to trial and look for that acquittal.
So let me ask Katie, would his own legal team now say, you know, boss, this might be the best route to go. You might have to fire us and start anew?
That would certainly not be the first time a criminal defendant has done something like that. And obviously, there's a lot of strategy that goes into defending a criminal case. And so certainly that is an option that all defense attorneys are aware exists. But ultimately, it is the defendant's sole decision who they're represented by.
You know, we have the other issue, the documents case and some of these others that, you know, the president wanted, you know, protection, that immunity and all of this. That doesn't look like it's happening. There are a lot of things festering on some other cases. But is it fair to say this might be the only one that will get off the launch pad before the election?
As it stands right now, with the Supreme Court considering the immunity case at the end of April, we're unclear about when they would issue a decision in that. Then the other cases are essentially on hold as a result of that finding. So, of course, the Georgia case, we don't really know exactly where that stands, but there is some progress moving ahead while the appellate court is still considering the removal of Fani Willis. So, again, very unclear on the timelines with that. But I would say the New York hush money case, even if it was continued for some reason, may still be able to get in under the wire there before the election. You
know, when the Supreme Court is in deciding the whole immunity thing, how much do they weigh or should they weigh? I know justice is blind and all that. A guy who's running for the highest office in the land and how this might be disruptive to that process. Or should that even enter their minds?
Well, it's interesting because the overarching issue in that case deals with the office of the presidency and how any sort of criminal process interferes with the executive branch at large. But in terms of their decision in the case, they said that they would put that on an expedited schedule in order to somehow accommodate these artificial timelines before the election. But certainly that's not the primary consideration for when they're going to rule on the case. But how could they possibly ignore it? It's obviously the elephant in the room there.
You must have this all out on a spreadsheet, organized meticulously, knowing you. Because I have mine right now on an Etch-a-Sketch, which is probably the same thing because I just shake it and then I get a different result. Katie, great seeing you again. Thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.